Hey guys, Nikki here, and as you saw from my last video that I uploaded, where I went and I rode an actual horse, yeah, I'm sorry, my hand is like shaking so bad right now. Okay, I have a lot to update you guys on. I feel like I look stupid. First of all, do you like my hair? I just put in lots of little braids, like you saw in the last video, whenever I was riding that horse. Oh my god, I cannot get over the fact that I actually, like, I did that. Like, and it was every bit as amazing as I thought it would be. Every bit as real. Anyway, so yeah, I have a lot to update y'all on. First of all, I am in my last hour right now that I'm spending as a teenager. It's like 11:20 or something right now. Um, so yeah, in 40 minutes, I'm gonna be 20 years old. So, no, I'm kidding. I'm excited. I'm excited because my life has gotten like so crazy these past couple months. Like, whoa. Sorry, somebody came in here. So, I'm living at my grandfather's house right now. And that was his girlfriend Dominique that was in my last video with the horses. Oh my gosh. Every time I say that word, it's like, oh, it's like a good kind of flashback. Okay, so a lot's happened in the past couple months, and I know I just said that, but I'm having like difficulty, like, what the hell? Why does it say I've only been going for 2 minutes? That's probably right. I'm sorry, I'm having a massive brain fart right now. Okay, so I'm just gonna start from the beginning. October 2nd. I
don't know.
Again. Sorry, I got interrupted again, but that's okay. So basically I moved out of my parents' house. It wasn't really a house. You might have noticed that over the last couple of years I've moved a lot of times. We were actually living in motels. I don't want to get too much into the situation of how my life was with my parents. It was every bit as needed. It made me who I am. That's all I'm going to say about it. So October 2nd, I moved out. That's another thing I got to update y'all on. So I moved out of my parents' house, and I went to live with my grandmother. And then a lot happened. I got my first ID, finally. And then I got accepted into my first and only choice university called Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Daytona. And I got accepted into it. I had applied back in July, on July 3rd, and I got accepted. And I'm so excited. So that happened. I was living with her and her boyfriend and my aunt. And then my aunt got sick again and ended up in the hospital again. Again, gonna like unsmoothly get out of the way of that train wreck of a conversation. Conversation with my phone. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time right now. I'm having a really, really hard time, like, talking to the fucking camera. Excuse my language. What is wrong with me? Okay, so then October 27th, she had to go out of town for a while, so I went to live with my grandfather. And I stayed with them for, well, I'm still with them. But, okay, so I'm gonna open up to you guys about something. I've been a little bit open about, mental health in the past. I have a couple of videos that I've talked about it on. Truth is, I am not mentally healthy. I have a bad history of self-harm, and on November 12th, I cut myself on my leg, and I went really deep accidentally, and I hit a vein, and I couldn't stop bleeding. So I had to go to the hospital, and in Florida, there's something called a Baker Act, which basically means that they can involuntarily hold you for up to 72 hours to make sure that you're safe. Hang on, I'm gonna go somewhere else. I feel like I'm not comfortable. Okay, here we go. My hair is so crazy. When I put it in braids, it like poofed out really big. This is not a lot of hair, but it looks like a ton. It's not. It's not a lot of hair at all. Okay, so yeah, back to the hospital story. So I went to the hospital and I had to get 5 stitches. And they Baker acted me, obviously. And then I live in West Palm Beach in Florida. And they transported me all the way up to Stewart to a place called Coral Shores, where I met with a psychiatrist who was he was like the most amazing doctor I've ever heard of in my life. Like, anybody who thinks bad about doctors, this guy was not like one of them. He, first of all, told me that he made me top priority because he came to me and he said, I'm a child psychiatrist. A lot of these people in here, they are older, and I'm not supposed to pick favorites, but the fact is they've been in and out of these. The thing about being so much older is they've had a long history of, drug use and all kinds of stuff. The difference was with me, I was the youngest there, and I'd never, ever seen a doctor before. I think the last time I went to any kind of doctor appointment, I was 7 or 6. Yeah, probably 7. But that wasn't a doctor's appointment. That was just because I had a cough. So we went to like some urgent care thing or something. I don't know. I don't even know what that's called. But yeah. So I've got like no history of any. Well, not now, but at the time I had no history with any psychiatrists or psychology doctors or anything. So I was like a brand new, perfect. I don't want to say guinea pig. Not guinea pig. Nothing like guinea pig. I was something that had never been touched or tainted by a different doctor before. And so it was just unique and interesting for him. And in the end, he did come to me and say, we're not supposed to get attached to our patients, but I gotta admit, thinking of letting you go is making my eyes well up. And they were too. His eyes were watery. It was like, he was amazing. He was a really wonderful doctor. But back to the point of the story. I'll probably talk a little bit, actually. I might make a video about my time in that behavioral clinic because that was an interesting time. I gave them a run for their money. But anyway, so I made a couple of friends there, and then I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder and PTSD. I said before that I didn't want to get too much into this story of my life with my parents, but let's just say I've got PTSD from it, so yikes. Yeah, I have massive panic attacks and flashbacks where first I go mute. That's usually the first sign, is that, and I can't always remember everything that happens during these episodes, so some of this information is just given to me by others. Basically, they say that I stare off, sometimes my eyes dilate, and I become mute. And I know that I like to hide in little places or corners, especially on the floor, and I basically just sit there and shake and live through the flashback again. If anybody tries to touch me, I freak out, and I know that I always want to get out, like get away, because I'm reliving a really bad flashback, but whatever. Don't want to get too much into that. Okay, so yeah. The longest one I had was 3 hours, where I sat, trying to bash my head through a window that wouldn't break. Yeah, that hospital thought of everything. Almost everything. Like I said, I gave him quite a run. But, okay, so I got out of there on December 2nd. And, my best friend has decided that he's going to come down to Florida on the 10th, and it's the 7th right now. So he's going to come down here on the 10th, and we're going to go to Orlando. We're going to visit Universal Studios, and then I'm gonna go back with him to Indiana. I kind of like hesitated when I said that. I don't know why. That was not intentional. That was like another brain fart moment. But I just want to get clear that that was not intended to be like, I feel iffy about it. I'm so excited. I can't even like talk. I'm so excited about it. The feeling I'm getting from everything that's happening in my life is surreal. Is the word that I've been trying for days to find. But it's been crazy. It's been crazy. So that's still a story is still not over. Okay, so he's coming on the 10th. It's the 7th now. I turned 20 in like half an hour. I got my ears pierced. It's a blue, I think it's pronounced zircon or something, Zircon, but it's one of my birthstones. I have 3 birthstones. I have topaz, turquoise, and this zircon one. Don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, so I finally got my ears pierced, and I've been wanting to do that since I was 10. For my 10th birthday, I wanted my parents to get my ears pierced because I got a little dove necklace and little earrings, and I didn't have pierced ears, so I thought, you know, what the hell, I kind of need pierced ears for this present, but they wouldn't do it. I also wanted a lip ring, but whatever. I'm going to get a lip ring one day. Probably soon. We'll see. Okay, so yeah. Then yesterday, completely out of the blue, I go out into the living room and start watching a movie with Dominique, which is, yeah, the girl that was in the horse riding video. I start watching a video, and partway through the video, they're in like some rodeo stadium, and one of the horses falls over in the back, and I look over and I say, you know, I've never even touched a horse before. And she goes, what? Because I talk about horses a lot. I know a lot about horses. And let me tell you, in that last video, there were some scenes where, or actually I think most of the scenes, the trainer was standing like next to the horse with me. And basically what he was telling me was like little bits and little things to do here and there, things that I already knew. And the amazing part was he said, by the end of this, you can pretty much say you're experienced because I see how much you know, and it's a shame this is the first time you've gotten up here. I nearly freaked out. I was like, oh my God, you did not just say that. Because now, so many people, when they hear how much I know about horses, and they're like, oh, but you never even touched one, you don't know what a horse smells like. And no, I didn't. So first I'm going to say, the barn does not stink. Horse poop doesn't smell. Not at all. Not even a little bit. At all. It doesn't have a scent to it, somehow. And I'm guessing that's because they eat vegetation, so cow poop is probably the same too. But yeah, it doesn't stink at all. So the barn, actually, the smell of the hay smells like a guinea pig cage or a hamster cage. So anybody who's never been around horses but has been around pet rodents, barn smells like that. But the horses, they smell totally different. The horses have like a sweet smell to them. I want to compare it to molasses, but it's not quite molasses. It's like dusty molasses. I don't know, but it's a good smell. They don't stink either, somehow. So I haven't been uploading on my channel, as you guys have seen, because this is all that's been going on in my life. You know, I've been working through stuff and doing a lot of stuff, and I'm going to start uploading more. Like I said, on the 10th, I'm going to Universal Studios, or I'm going to Orlando, and we'll visit Universal Studios the next day. But we're on a Universal Studios hotel resort thing, so I don't know, but I'll figure out what to call it in a minute. Anyway, so I'm gonna start uploading a lot more. But I kind of just had to get this, you know, put out there that I haven't fallen off the face of the earth again. Since I did that back in 2017. And nobody heard from me for like 5 months. My life's just crazy and weird. And part of me really, really wants to go into detail about how it was before. But out of respect, I won't. So, yeah, here I am in this bedroom, and there's a dog here, a really cute dog, and I had a pet cat for like 3 days, but then he decided to run off, even though I made him a harness. Oh, it was so messed up. So I made him a little harness. I crocheted it, and then I got a little like keychain thing, and I bought him a leash because I got my first job. That was another thing. I knew I was leaving out something big. I got my first job at IHOP as a waitress, and I didn't do very well at all. Actually, the day that I ended up in the hospital, I had quit the job that day because they told me the day before that if I didn't improve enough by next week that they were gonna let me go. Might I just say I didn't get very much training because I'm going through it, and it was almost 3 weeks, but I'd only worked 8 days. And I'd worked really weird hours, so, like, I didn't get much experience. Like, one day I only worked 2 hours. So it wasn't really fair. But, you know, whatever. I made some money off of it. I made like $300. So I did good. And most of that came from tips, so I'm gonna say I did good. Some people are just really big buttholes. But anyway, so, yeah. So I bought a leash from the dollar store for my cat. And then I decided to take it for a walk outside, and what do you know, the keychain thing that I used to hold the harness together and clip the leash onto was super thin and slipped right between the hook of the leash. It's like this, and it slipped right between this crack. And the cat got away. Figures, don't it? But it's okay. He belonged outside anyway. Well, he didn't really. He had owners before, but whatever. Oh, I might want to talk about him a little bit. Okay, so what happened with my kitty was that I went outside, and there were a bunch of cats out there, and he came and crawled into my lap. So I said, you know what, I'm taking you home. And I wanted to name him King, but I decided later on to name him Caesar. Well, when he got out one day, I went looking for him, and I found the lady that had all the cats around her house, and she used to feed them, and she asked if I was missing the cat, you know, and I described him, and she said, well, King has been missing. And I'm like, did you just say King? You just named the cat. You named the cat what? Because I was going to name him King. So, I guess it was meant to be. This video is almost 20 minutes long. Apparently, I can talk a lot. But, yeah, you guys stay tuned because I am going to be putting a lot more videos up. Because I've got a lot coming up in my life. So, yeah. Maybe I'll get up the nerve to talk about some really personal things. We'll see. But, I hope you guys all have a nice day or night or whatever, or morning, whatever it is for you. And, I am going to wait about 15 minutes, I think. 20 minutes, something. And then record another video, because it's going to be, I'm going to record the moment I turn 20. Oh, it's going to be so stupid. I'm so weird and stupid and cheesy and whatever. Okay. Bye, guys. I wanted to wave. I wanted to say bye, guys.